deep ball for Darius Prince, and Philadelphia's on the board first.
On the draw, this is Bryson Allen. And Allen weaving his way all the way down to the 22.
10-yard line, 5. Mayfield, Dancy, all around. Throw it as far as he can throw it. Jump ball coming. Crazy stuff. Not this time.
And you want to be a wide receiver. You're going to have to take a little bit of a hit like that as Brown got him in that shoulder, but watch. Those are teeth.
Do we have a dentist on staff here?
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about your DC Defenders and your Birmingham Stallions. My favorite team at this moment, always will be. I've been constantly called a bandwagoner because they're the winningest team in the UFL currently. And you know what? I will stand here and admit that, yeah, I guess I technically am. And you know what? It's because there's no Ohio team. And I made a commitment at last year's USFL championship that the winner of that game would be my team. And thank God, in a sense, that Birmingham won. Because if not, this would be my team. And they don't exist right now, which should be against the law because they were really good last year. Well, their record wasn't good. They had an Arlington Renegades record last year, 4-6. I believe they were, both them and Michigan were 4-6 last year in the regular season. But it is what it is. You want to call me a bandwagon fan, I guess you have every right to. I don't like the term, but it doesn't mean I'm not one, because the only way that I will change teams and hopefully never have to change again after that is Ohio gets a team and they stay and the league survives, which we will get into tomorrow of what everybody needs to do to make that happen. Because you know what? We all love football around here. All right, sorry about that. Enough with the PSA. Let's get into this, because you know you don't want to hear me talking about myself. You clicked on the video for me to talk about the game. So let's talk the game. All right. DC Defenders at Birmingham Stallions. Now, this game was a little messed up because, and I'm not talking about being on the same channel at the same time as the Michigan-San Antonio game. We knew about that. That's fine. I'm talking about weather. Weather and NASCAR really screwed this game up because more people most likely went to the NASCAR thing. Plus, the bad weather meant the official attendance was really low, a lot lower than it should have been. But let's talk about it. So, your announcers were Kevin Kugler, the play-by-play guy, Robert Smith, the analyst, and Brock Heward was the field reporter. Now, I like Brock. Brock is a good dude. But I'm telling you, right now, that nobody tops Joel Klatt, because Joel Klatt has a perfect mind when it comes to talking sports, when it comes to talking football. I would love to pick his brain. The odds, the Stallions were favored by 9. If you picked DC to cover, you were good. And the over-under was 46.5. And if you went under, hey, you hit. Now, I personally think if the rain wasn't there, over probably hits, especially with the way the game was going. We got 38 points. We only needed another touchdown and a 3-point conversion or a field goal. So, I mean, the over was likely going to hit either way, granted the weather. But I think it's more than that. Moving on. The DC Defenders entered this game as underdogs to the surging Birmingham Stallions. This game was a huge test for the Defenders. DC was entering the matchup on a 2-game winning streak, having beaten 2 teams that are winless on the season. Not to mention, both contests were determined within 1 possession. Houston, they won by 9, technically under UFL rules. That is 1 possession, so there you go. On the other hand, the Stallions are the only undefeated team remaining with a perfect 3-0 record, now 4-0. They are coming into the game after an imposing 33-14 win over the Memphis Showboats last week. Stallions are on a roll and look to continue their streak in this game. Birmingham's Ramir Ahmed kicked off 77 yards, and the ball was returned by Chris Rowland to the DC 32-yard line. DC Defenders quarterback Jordan Ta'amu handed to Cameron Harris for a 5-yard gain and then handed to Harris for another 7 yards and a first down. Ta'amu went back to Harris for another 7 yards on the ground, but Harris fumbled, and Birmingham's JoJo Tillery, shout out JoJo. I talked to him at the USFL championship game last year because I was right at the first row of seats. So, shout out to JoJo, one of my favorite defensemen on Birmingham. Tillery recovered the ball at the Stallions' 43-yard line. Birmingham Stallions quarterback Matt Corral handed to CJ Maribal, but he gained 0 yards. Another handoff to Maribal was good on a 2-yard gain, and then Corral passed to Maribal for 9 yards and a first down. Corral passed 9 yards to Amari Rogers, then rushed up the middle for a 5-yard gain to move the markers. A handoff to Maribal gained 2 yards, and then a 12-yard Corral pass was caught by Austin at the DC 25-yard line. There was a fumble that was recovered by DJ Swearinger, giving DC the ball on their own 9-yard line. This was as Birmingham was moving the ball down the field with ease. And for whatever reason, Skip Holtz says, you know what? We lining up in the old-fashioned T formation, and everybody's going to crash to the right. All the backs are going to move to the right. And as Corral turns around, tries to hand the ball to Maribal. And God, I can't even think. The handoff was bad. I'm not saying it's Corral's fault or it's Maribal's fault. I can't really tell whose fault it is looking at the playback. So you check it out and leave it in the comments. Who do you think was at fault? From there, DC eventually goes down and scores. Ta'amu delivered a short pass to Vincent Smith, who covered the gain to be 15 yards. Handoff to Zaquandre White went for 22, and then Ta'amu passed for 14 to Kelvin Harmon to the Birmingham 35. A handoff to White gained 3 more yards, and then a pass to Smith was good for 6. On 3rd and 1, an 18-yard pass to Smith moved the ball to the Birmingham 8. Ta'amu handed to White, who lost a yard and passed incomplete up the middle, intended for Ty Scott. On 3rd down, Tamu passed short right to Roland, who converted the play into a 9-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion attempt failed, making the score 6-0 DC, where it stood until almost 2 minutes to go in the half, I believe. Between 2 and 3 minutes to go. And then Corral is starting to find himself. Dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And he then, as they're moving the ball, Corral passed to Victor for a 17-yard gain, and then passed to Pearson for another 10. On first down, Corral's pass was incomplete. Then a catch by Rogers was converted into a 50-yard touchdown. The 1-point conversion failed, making the score tied at 6, where we stood through halftime. Actually, no, sorry. Let me just go on here. Roland returned the Ahmed kickoff to the DC 34. Tamu could not connect on a pass to Alex Ellis and then handed to Harris for a 1-yard gain as the 2-minute warning hit. 2-minute warning was announced on fourth down. A fumble led to a Stallions safety touch, making the score 8-6 Birmingham. Kane returned the kickoff to his own 32-yard line. Corral passed 4 yards to Kane, then scrambled left for 6 more and a first down. Handoff to Mariball, gained no yards, and then Corral passed incomplete intended to Sternberger. Jay Sternberger is usually a dude that's almost a guarantee catch every time. He's like a Gronk or Jason Edelman kind of type where, okay, you throw me the ball, I'm catching that sucker. But, and I remember weather, it was raining, slick. A pass to Mariball gained 3 yards, and Corral completed an 8-yard pass to Rogers for a first down. Corral rushed 4 yards to the DC 28. Then the Stallions, Ahmed kicked 46-yard field goal to make the score 11-6 for the Stallions at halftime. Because of the weather delay, because they did have to go into, I believe it was like between an hour and 2 hour, I think it was almost an hour, 45-minute weather delay. Due to the weather delay that they had to do, halftime was like super short, which is understandable because you got to keep the game moving. To start the second half, Brooks kicked off out of bounds, causing the ball to be spotted at midfield. Corral handed to Pearson for a 4-yard gain and then handed to Pearson for 9 more. Pearson rushed for 8 and then again for 4. A false start penalty pushed Stallions back 5, and then Corral could not complete his pass. A pass intended to Jennings fell incomplete, but a defensive pass interference penalty gave the Stallions a first down at the DC 21-yard line. Corral handed it to Pearson for a 6-yard gain, and then a Mariball rush made 3 more. On third down, a handoff to Mariball lost 2 yards, and the Stallions settled for another Ahmed field goal from 32 to make the score 14-6 Birmingham, making it a 1-score game. Roland returned the Ahmed kick to DC 32. Tamu handed to Harris for a 1-yard gain, then passed to Roland for 12 and a first down. Tamu could not convert a first down, and the defenders were forced to punt. The punt went into the end zone for a touchback, and the Stallions began their drive on their own 25-yard line. A handoff to Mariball gained 5 yards, then another Mariball run gained 3. Another Mariball run was not enough for a first down, and Wadman punted. Congratulations to Chris Wadman, the punter of the Birmingham Stallions, for he is not only a jolly good fellow, but he had a birthday. He had a birthday like Wednesday or Thursday last week. So congratulations on the birthday. Happy belated birthday, Chris Wadman, even though you will most likely not see this. Defenders drive started on their own 40. Tamu handed to White for 3. Pass incomplete to Smith. 4-yard Tamu run short of the first down. Defenders were forced to punt again. Rogers received the punt via a fair catch at the Birmingham 14-yard line. Corral went 3 and out, and the Stallions punted. Defenders started their drive on the Birmingham 45. Tamu passed short right to Brooks, kicked off 60 yards, and Dion Kane returned the ball to his 36-yard line. Corral was sacked for a 2-yard loss in the third quarter. Ended the score after 3 was 14-12 Birmingham. To start the fourth quarter, Corral's second down pass fell incomplete. Then he passed to Maribel, but he lost 2 yards. Unfortunately, the Wadman punt was shanked out of bounds at the Birmingham 45-yard line. That was a severe problem last night. I think special teams was kind of across the board. I'm not looking at one or the other. I'm saying across the board was a problem for both squads. Definitely something they kind of need to work on. But again, you can't fully blame them because the weather. Now, I sound like an Ohio State fan, even though I am, because that one word keeps coming up, weather. But at the end of the day, because it rained as much as it did, it has to be at fault to a degree. There are regular problems between both squads. I'm not fully blaming what happened on the weather fully. There are issues with both squads. Whether it's Birmingham can't decide which quarterback to start all the time. DC doesn't have a run game really. We're 4 games in and we don't know what DC's identity is. I mean, seriously, come on. Really? We know pretty much everybody else. St. Louis are pass first. They have weapons at receiver, including the finally returning Ja'Cour Pearson, or Peasy as he likes to be called, A.J. McCarron, Marcel Aitman, and the like. Michigan, they're balanced, in my opinion. They have a decent run game. They're mostly balanced. Decent run game. They got weapons at receiver. They got a heck of a defense, which I think is really their identity. They're very defensive. Because Frank Ginda is a freaking beast. Shout out to Frank. San Antonio, it's a defense. I mean, Dormady can throw, and you have Cody Latimer as a weapon. But I think, again, it's defense because that's what Wade Phillips always been known for. Birmingham, the defense. I mean, I can go on and on, but we're talking about one game here. I'm kind of going off track. But anyway, it was pretty much back and forth the rest of the way. DC kicked another field goal, got the lead to be 15-14. And then again in the fourth quarter, it was basically trading field goals back and forth. DC goes up 15-14. Birmingham has a drive at some point to go up 17-15. And then we're starting to hit towards the 2-minute mark. DC hits field goal to go up 18-17. And then right at the end, Birmingham kicks a field goal with about, I want to say 4 seconds left, if I remember, to go up 20-18, and that's the ball game. That's it. Now, this game, if you ask me, could be game of the week because it's the closest one we got. I think it's going to get outmatched by the game from today, the Sunday game, just because we had 2 winless teams and somebody got their first win. I refuse to tell you who because you got to subscribe to the channel and come back tomorrow as we're going to talk about that tomorrow along with one other video, and I haven't fully decided what it's going to be yet, but stay tuned. This game all the way from start to finish, back and forth. Now, I get 6-0 after, I think it was 6-0 DC after 1. I get that because that first quarter was kind of a feeler for both. Okay, what's your weakness? How can we expose your weakness? What's your weakness? How can we expose your weakness? This game, in my opinion, was really good start to finish. Of course, you know, just like any good game in the long run, you had your ups and downs throughout. is cool. Matt Corral is still undefeated as the starter, but so is Adrian Martinez. Now, a lot of people say there's a problem with Adrian. I don't know. I kind of liked him once he went to Kansas State, so maybe I'm biased for Adrian Martinez, but the facts are facts. I see and understand why people would be biased against Adrian Martinez because his win-loss record is more losses than wins. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I am going to laugh my butt off if Birmingham wins the chip for the first UFL season and they do it with a 2-quarterback system where it's like this guy starts one game, the other guy starts the next. This guy starts the next game. This guy starts the next. Just flippity-flop. I'm going to laugh my butt off if that happens. Now, sorry this was a little long. I picked the wrong thing to kind of read off of. But that's my recap review of Birmingham versus DC week 4 of the UFL season. Stay tuned. Got hopefully 2 videos to go out tomorrow. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure to go out tomorrow. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below. What do you think of the game? What kind of format you want me to use? How do you want me to go about doing the videos and all that? You can leave any kind of comment down there as long as it's appropriate. Subscribe to the channels, Shady Sports Network and Buckeye Mike. We're trying to hit some goals around here. Some goals. I definitely support Sam. I want to see Sam's channel, Shady Sports, hit the 1,500 subs. So please, please, please go over and sub to him. We're kind of nonchalantly looking to try to hit 200 over here on Buckeye Mike. We are close. We are under 40 away. So share out them videos and do whatever you got to do to convince people to sub. Not really. You guys want to sub to the channel, sub freely. I'm done ranting. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody.